A wealthy man, a lonely dog, and a poor boy who asked for nothing but one hug a day. What happens when a simple act of kindness uncovers a heartbreaking secret? This is a story you'll never forget. Mr. Langford had always believed in boundaries, between business and emotion, between himself and others, between his world of manicured lawns and the chaos that lay just beyond his gates. Each morning at precisely 7 o'clock a.m., he would sip his black coffee by the bay window, while Max, his golden retriever, dozed beside him. It was a ritual of silence, a life of order, of predictability, of distance. Until one morning, something shifted. There, just outside his iron gate, stood a small boy, no more than 10 years old. His clothes were faded, shoes scuffed and mismatched. His eyes, however, were strikingly alive. Wide, dark, watchful. He wasn't begging. He wasn't speaking. He was just standing, watching Max. Mr. Langford stepped onto the porch. "Can I help you?" he asked. The boy startled. I'm not here for money, sir," he said quickly. "I just wanted to ask, could I hug your dog? Just for a second?" It was absurd, but Max had already trotted to the gate, tail wagging. The boy crouched, arms trembling slightly, and wrapped them around Max's neck. He closed his eyes. Max leaned into the embrace. Neither moved for a full minute. Then the boy let go. "Thank you, sir. I'll come back tomorrow, if that's okay." Before Mr. Langford could reply, the boy vanished. And he did come back. The next morning, and the next, always at 7 o'clock a.m., always in silence. Each time, the boy would hug Max. Sometimes for just a few seconds, sometimes longer. Then he would whisper a quiet "thank you" and disappear. Mr. Langford, curious at first, grew accustomed to the ritual. He even began to expect it, to wait for it. Some mornings, he found himself sipping his coffee 5 minutes early. He never asked the boy's name. The boy never offered it. There was something fragile about it all, like speaking too much might shatter the magic. But Mr. Langford did begin to notice things. The boy walked with a slight limp. He had shadows under his eyes. On colder days, he shivered but never complained. One morning, Mr. Langford brought out a coat. The boy hesitated, then accepted it with a quiet nod. Still, he never asked for anything more than that single embrace with Max. And then, one Thursday morning, he didn't come. Mr. Langford stood by the window long after 7 o'clock a.m., coffee gone cold in his hands. Max sat by the door, ears perked, tail still. Maybe he was late. Maybe something came up. But the boy didn't come that day, or the next, or the one after. A week passed. Mr. Langford tried to convince himself it was nothing. He didn't even know the boy, didn't owe him anything. But his mornings felt incomplete. On the 8th day, Mr. Langford did something he hadn't done in years. He asked questions. He spoke to the neighborhood kids, the street vendors, the corner grocer. And finally, the old woman who sold newspapers outside the park looked up from her chair and said, "You mean the sick kid from the shelter hospital? Quiet one, always limping?" Mr. Langford's heart sank. She gave him directions. The shelter hospital was just a few miles away, but it felt like another world. The receptionist looked surprised when a well-dressed man asked about a small boy he barely knew.
"He's in room 12.
she said softly. He doesn't get many visitors. Mr. Langford knocked gently. Inside, the boy lay curled under thin blankets. He looked smaller than Mr. Langford remembered, paler, but his eyes still lit up when he saw him. "Sir, you came. I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye." Mr. Langford stepped closer. "Why didn't you tell me?" The boy shrugged weakly. "I didn't want you to feel sorry. I just wanted to feel happy. Max made me happy. He made me forget that I was sick." He paused. When I hugged him, it felt like I was hugging life, like I wasn't dying, just for a moment. Mr. Langford sat beside him, silent. The boy reached under his pillow and handed him a folded piece of paper. "I wrote this, just in case I didn't get to see you again." That night, after leaving the hospital, Mr. Langford sat in his study. Max lay beside him, head resting on his lap. He opened the note. "Dear Sir, thank you for letting me hug Max. He didn't just make me feel better. He made me believe that someone cared, even if they didn't say it out loud. Believe that even a boy like me could feel alive again. I never had a dog or a dad, but in those few minutes every day, I felt like I had both. Don't be sad when I'm gone. Just let Max hug someone else who needs it, the way I did. Love, the boy who didn't ask for money." Tears ran silently down Mr. Langford's cheeks. The next morning, at 7 a.m. sharp, the iron gate stood open. And outside, waiting shyly, was a little girl in worn shoes, holding her brother's hand. Max trotted forward, tail wagging. Mr. Langford smiled for the first time in years. "Come in," he said. "Max has hugs for everyone." Sometimes, the smallest requests carry the deepest meanings, and one hug can last a lifetime. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.